My names are Rael Knight. I go by Raquel Knight on social media. And I'm the founder of Tunza Sports Foundation. Tunza Sports Foundation is a non-profit, sports-based youth development program that harnesses the power of sports to improve the livelihood of others. We have embraced the challenge to empower girls with life-changing skills so that they can become women of substance, women of integrity, and functional leaders of their community. Tunza Sports Foundation is an organization that is based on passion and compassion. So we use our passion for sports to reach out to people and show compassion for others and make a difference in their lives. There are three main things that drove me to want to start an organization like Tunza. The first one was unfulfilled dreams. Growing up, I had, like everyone does, dreams of my own, but they were not developed, they were not nurtured, they were not encouraged to grow. And so I wanted a space where I could extend that of what I didn't get and give others. The second one is the experience that I derived from coaching in the USA. It got to a point where it wasn't just about coaching, it wasn't just about playing field hockey, it was more. And I became like a sister, a mother, helping them navigate some of the teenage issues that they were having. And the impact that I had on some of the kids really made me feel like I could actually extend this back home. And lastly, the third reason is actually the major one. I wanted to see the impact of giving. Before Tunza, before all this, I was giving, and soon the joy of giving just waned because I couldn't follow through to know how impactful it was. It's not just giving and walking away and feeling like, okay, I did my part, I gave and I'm done. No, I wanted something more measurable, and it was not going to be possible without a setup. I really wanted a situation where the beneficiary became part of the process and not just waiting for handouts. It is called, dignified charity. A situation where you're not just feeling sorry for someone and then giving them things. I am blessed to be in a situation where I know the beneficiaries and I also know the donors. I get material support from my friends and the network where I am, and they have the trust and they know that what they give me will get to the people that are intended. And on the other side, I know the beneficiaries. I do my best to ensure that I know they really need help, what kind of help, and the connection between the recipient and the donor puts me in a very unique position. And so how was I going to do this? And then Tunza's idea came into being. Yes, so you can see that overall, in these three factors, I am trying to do something to someone else that I wish was done for me. Okay, so that is how all those factors contributed to me starting this initiative. Yeah. The beneficiaries are many and broad. We have impacted a whole community, and I can start actually from a group of people who don't seem like they're beneficiaries. This group of people who are actually the network of my friends, I have provided them an avenue that they can forward to somebody else, give life, a new life to the material that they're providing. That's a whole new level of beneficiaries right there. They're the donors, but they also benefit because they now know where to take what they don't need anymore. I have currently about 36 volunteers. How are they beneficiaries? Um, they meet people during this work. They meet people. They're forming their own networks. They're forming their own friendships with others. They're becoming part of a bigger picture. When Tunza succeeds, they feel empowered that they can do more within Tunza or outside. The other group of beneficiaries are the schools where these kids are going. So we start coaching the kids at a very, very young age. And by the time they're going to high school, they're set. The basics is down. And so when these schools absorb them, they only need to focus on the aspect of teamwork. And then we have the parents. We are really uplifting the burden that the parents have. This is the rural poor we're talking about. They are not able to afford tuition, especially to the good schools that we want these girls to attend. Tunza has come in a big way for them because we have been able to either get the schools to give them some kind of scholarship or partnered with individuals and organizations to get the girls scholarship to go to school. Within the community itself, also they're beneficiaries because remember we have a field that we were constructing. We have a field that we have to maintain, like cutting down the grass, keeping it clean. So when we are doing these activities or when we are doing the construction, we employ the locals, right? If we need water, we get the women going to the river and getting water. If we need sand, stones, and just the work itself, we get mercenaries and we get everyone who has some skill level in the community itself to chime in and become part of the process. So we do this and we pay them for labor, and some of them are actually parents of the kids who have benefited in that way. And then we have the kids themselves as the direct beneficiaries of the whole process, and the benefit in wholesomeness, from tuition to clothes, shoes to food. Sometimes some of the kids have siblings, and you can just be looking after the one child and ignoring the others. And in more depth, they're also benefiting by their confidence is getting up. We insist that playing the game of playing sports must be accompanied by good grades. So we push for excellence in class. They also have mentors who are the coaches, people they can trust, because remember we are also dealing with cases of abuse, and some of the abuse actually happen at home with people who are familiar to them. So Tunza provides the avenue for these girls to discuss these issues with their coaches because they cannot discuss it at home. Another benefit is on the side of health. When the kids that we are coaching, come for the training sessions, they always get informed about staying, safe, being healthy, maintaining good hygiene, and they take this and they transfer it back home, and their parents and siblings learn from that. Even on a more limited scale, we have stepped in some occasions when the parents could not afford medical treatment for themselves or for their child. And this becomes very sensitive and very tough because on one hand, we are giving practice for the sport, we're giving all these goodies and nice things, but then when they get sick, what do? You can't just step back and say, that is on you. It didn't seem like we were going to be able to do anything. There was a lockdown, restrictions of the government. This is a rural, poor area. How are we going to ensure that they're following the safety protocols? So we had to change the wheel, like 360. With the limited resources that I had, I decided to make masks. But we had parents and volunteers who lost their jobs, so the demand for help actually doubled or tripled, I can say. I was able to fill in this space of time for the kids by giving them projects which we dubbed COVID-19 Stay Home Project, and come up with artwork, agricultural work, home science. We were able to conduct life skills and sex education for the girls. We were able also to carry out a cancer awareness campaign. Even though we could not gather for training, the girls could still learn hockey. And so we gave each player a stick and a ball to take home and asked them to practice the basic skills. So we gave them the basic skills that they needed to carry out, and when they came back after a year of not training under supervision, they were really good. Their stick skills had improved. The silver lining of the lockdown during COVID-19 was it gave me a lot of time to be creative about what we can do remotely. And I partnered with a friend of mine who started recording YouTube education topics. It's a good way for girls to learn from someone else who's not in their environment. We have had success stories at different levels on different initiatives within the organization. So the long-term one is transitioning the girls from primary school to high school. So we jump in and try to engage some schools that already have a hockey program that can absorb our girls in exchange for some sort of scholarship. So far we've had about 36 girls going to high school. Of the 36, 24 are in some sort of scholarship. Either the school is giving them scholarship for them joining their hockey program, or individuals supporting and giving scholarship, and also some organizations like Twiga. Some of these girls were in a trajectory of dropping from school in primary, and we rescued them basically by involving them in sports, and they finished primary school. But had we not been there to push them right through into high school, at least a number of them were going to drop out because of lack of tuition. First and foremost, the girl child is not favored to continue with further education. And when things are hard, when things hit hard, the parents will not hesitate to have that child drop school. We are proud that we've had 36 girls cross over from primary to secondary school. 36 of the 38, because we lost 2 due to pregnancy. And even though pregnancy doesn't keep you away from going to school, as per the government regulations, sometimes it becomes very tricky and tough when parents are involved and they don't want the kid to continue at school. The other success story is the PADS drive. So again, the pandemic presented a good opportunity to do something out of the ordinary. Now, this story came about because of the demand of pads for the girls that we have. They are not able to afford them, and it was becoming unsustainable for me to buy these things, because the number of girls are increasing every year that we have, and they're growing. We have about 50 under 12s right now. They're going to be 13 next year. And so the response was amazing. We collected about 720 boxes of pads, both in Kenya, and we collected some in the US. That is the one successful story that I can give you that was conducted for that particular short period of time. The challenge that I faced is that material support is a lot. The problem comes in because they're not accompanied with shipping money. Okay, so I have to find the money to ship the items. Another challenge is dealing with parents who at most they feel Tunza is that angel that has just come and to take away all their problems. So they just want to sit back and let Tunza do everything, even though they have something small towards their child's development. They want us to consider all of them poor at the same level. There's competition to be poor, which is really sad, because someone doesn't want to see another child getting what their child is not getting. We've been told of some instances where the families also relegate themselves to being completely poor of the poor just so that they get help, while in fact they're able to contribute something. So the other challenge is that since we have grown so fast, the resources have been thinned out, and the financial support is not forthcoming. So I've had to really work extra hard and dig deeper into my pocket to make it happen, but that is not sustainable. The other challenge is that my volunteers also do not come from very well established backgrounds. Some are still just out of school looking for a job, and others are just trying to make ends meet. They are passionate, they're willing to do so much for Tunza, but they're not able to do that right now using their own means. And so if I run out, then we don't get anything done. And the other challenge is that on the outside, it looks like we have an abundance that we can share with others, but that is not the case. And I get so many requests of people asking if I can help, if I can give them equipment. Now, like for example, the equipment, I collect equipment so that my program can use it. I'm not collecting the equipment to distribute to others. It sounds kind of selfish to say, no, this is for me. I asked it for me. But that is actually the case. We are not a distribution hub where I'm getting and then I'm just going to distribute it. No, I need it for my program. Home visits give us a really good picture, and it helps us identify the level of help that each family needs. So I'm embarking on a strong fundraising this year. I'm also streamlining the organization so that the volunteers can take ownership of their projects. The volunteers also contribute so much with ideas. I'm not always going to be perfect and know it all. I'm dreaming big here. At Tunza, there's one goal and one goal only: to break the cycle of poverty. There is this unending loop of poverty in rural Kenya that once you get into, you don't get out of. It's like an inheritance. You inherit the same poverty and you get worse, and your children inherit it unless someone else comes and pulls you out. So Tunza is that person who's coming to pull them out. I started this initiative to be that person who can encourage and give an opportunity. And so in 5 to 10 years from now, I want to see someone else from this group of kids that I have right now to be me, giving an opportunity to someone else. I want them to be the next Rael. I want them to graduate and succeed and go back to their community and say, okay, now I'm going to help 2 girls, 5 girls, 10. I'm going to create another Tunza. That is what I want. That is what I am hoping we can do as an organization. And so we are creating a cycle of giving back. We expect that once the girls that we have right now succeed in life, they will go back and help their community. We are creating 1,000 million Raels. I will never, nobody will ever be in a position where they can help everyone around them. And so my vision is to see a situation where even if you're born poor, you can still make it and start a different cycle. In 10 years from now, our girls who are in high school as juniors will have graduated college and will be working. So I am hoping that they will be carrying the banner, So, but before we even get there, Just to bring it back a little bit, in about 5 years, I'm hoping that Tunza will be in all the corners of Kenya. We're in 3 locations right now, so I'm hoping we'll be in more locations, at least another 6. And in addition, a more recent goal also is to have the girls who are currently in high school to go to college. And we are aiming high. We are pushing them to really perform academically so that they can get a placement in really high level colleges, which could be local or international. You never know. But I desire to see all of these girls pursuing education in college. That will be achieved in at least the next 3-4 years for the first group that we have. And also, the plan has always been to be involved in an exchange program in the US, where both sides learn culture from each other. And had it not been for COVID, we would have embarked on the first group this year. And if you have been a visitor on our website, you'd see that we have also an internship program. Yes. So locally, we have some of the volunteers intern with us, and we also extending this internationally. We live the theme. We have been really at the forefront of helping girls overcome the many situations that they're put in. We put more emphasis on girls because they're more susceptible to violence, abuse, and exploitation. What people forget is that the scars that the girl child retains from all these situations that they're exposed to, even if it's at the same level with the boy child, the scars stay forever. It's the girl that gets beat when the mother is frustrated in the home. It's the girl that gets pregnant and drops out of school and has to take care of a child. And girls do a lot of the house chores, go to the river, fetch firewood, take care of your siblings. And when we have to tell the parents that at a certain time this girl has to be at training, the parent has to find an alternative, or the boys have to now chime in and do part of the work. So that is one way of breaking the gender bias. We are promoting girls' education to protect them from forced early child marriages. And it seems like it's rhetoric, but it's actually happening. In the rural areas where there's so much poverty, not all rural areas are poor, but in places where there's poverty, the girl child is seen as the number of cows that family can get. And they justify that because there are other siblings. There's life to live. And if they can get this girl to get married off, and then they get cows, then sell them, then there's some money. And the girls are tuned into this. They start feeling that the only way I can help my family is to go get married so they can get cattle to keep them going. And to them, they feel it's selfish to say, no, I want to go to school. So we are stopping that. That's a bias that we have to stop. If the girl wants to go to school, they need to be allowed to go to school. Breaking the gender bias, we are doing it so much so that we are already getting a backlash that we are forgetting the boy child. And what we've tried to make the community understand is that the boy child is way ahead with the opportunities that the culture has given them to excel in life. Way ahead. Of course, there's some families that the boy child is suffering no opportunities, but in the wider concept of it, the boy child is way ahead. So the girls have to catch up. So we are pushing for the girl child. We are pushing until we get to a certain point where they dignified and they get the same respect and they are seen as positive contributors in the community. We focus on these girls to transition to high school because education presents one of the biggest gender inequality gaps. Okay, boys are more favored from this community to go to high school and continue with education than their girls. Even in our program, we are going to introduce a boys program, but only when the field is a little bit balanced on what parents understand treating the both children the same manner, giving both children the same opportunities. Until we get to that level, we're going to push for the girls. With sports that now we are doing in these communities, girls are doing excellent with it. The girls are getting respect. They did that, they won that, they're doing this, they're doing that. So it is bringing that balance, and the respect is coming back. The community now sees that, oh, they are hardworking and contributors in the community. It's not just the boys. Why do I think I deserve to be a Zuri alumni? Why not? Why not? I mean, you've seen the work that has been done. It's all over social media. Our website is tunzasports.org. Yeah, awards are good just because. On a serious note, it's not about deserving to be a Zuri alumni, but good work has to be recognized. My volunteers, as someone once referred to them, my foot soldiers, they are the ones who keep this organization running, and I am so grateful to them being there, because they are very passionate, very compassionate. They work without complaining, they work without asking for anything, they're not paid. All I have to do is ask, and we have about 36 volunteers who do different things. They give their all, and their work needs to be recognized. If it will take being an Zuri alumni for that, then that's it. They run events. The coaches commute, trek, do whatever they need to do to reach their destination, to coach, to mentor. They do so much behind the scene. A lot of them are not on the forefront. The organization as a whole deserves the recognition. Tunza is leading in inspiring a totally new phenomenon in field hockey. Already there's so many other youth development programs that are sprouting from nowhere, and they are looking to Tunza for guidance on what to do, for help on what to do. I get so many requests that people want to start up something like Tunza and they want help. The image is that Tunza's made it and that we have the recipe. No, we just started. I remember we started with 5 sticks and about 26 girls. It was 5 sticks and 26 girls, and that ran for a while before I was able to ship any more equipment. And we just went with what was working. Okay, but now we have been placed in a situation or in a position where we are the leaders of this movement that I did not even intend, that we need to change how we do things in the country when it comes to field hockey. And so there's pressure in being in a leadership position such as Tunza to guide others on what to do. And that needs to be recognized. That particular fact needs to be recognized, because we are moving at a very fast pace, at a direction where everyone now believes, I can start hockey in my village. I can start hockey with a stick and a ball and one child, and I can enjoy the game and also help a child go to school. I can enjoy being with my friends, coaching kids. I can enjoy my sport away from the field of me not playing, but teaching another child how to play it, and meanwhile also helping that child with their livelihood. There's now more people believing that. You don't have to play hockey in the city. You don't have to play hockey in the major towns. So just being in the position where we have opened up people's minds into doing something for their community, at their villages, at their estates where they live, that needs to be recognized. And if that makes one to be a Zuri alumni, then yeah, it's welcome. You can give it to us. But it is very amazing that without intending to, Tunza gave a blueprint on how to grow the game from the grassroots. The village is a grassroots. And taking the game to communities that never even seen a stick or watched a game of hockey. And that is what I want. I don't want to be doing the same thing for the next 30 years. I want that other people are going to pick it up and do more, infuse their own ideas and their own vision into what they're doing, and just have this crazy hockey playing nation. Whatever their vision end game is, ours is education. Whatever theirs is, it still contributes the whole country moving up and growing together. And if it had to take us to inspire others, I'm happy with that. I don't have to be doing this for the next 30 years. In a span of 2 years, I kid you not, there are about 10 places that have started hockey in their region. Out of those 10, I know of 2 that are in the estate, in the city, but within their estate, right? And out of those 10, 6 are deep in the village. Deep in the village. So there's now this belief that, oh wait, I can do something from my home. I can do something in my village. I don't need nobody to tell me that I have to have a tough field, that I have to have a goal post with nets. I just need a stick and a ball and one child to start. We are at the forefront right now of making people believe their dreams can come true. The kids, the parents, other hockey enthusiasts, and everyone who's involved in our program believe that this can actually work. It can actually change lives. And to be in that position is not easy. It's challenging. And so if you're going to make us an alumni, to make us feel rewarded and to make us feel, yeah, thumbs up, like keep doing what you're doing, and then make it attract other people to do more, it's much welcome. It's very much welcome. I am so excited, so thrilled, so happy, and I'm very honored to be a 2022 Zuria Award nominee. And I hope it goes further than that, so that I can use the platform to further the things that we're doing, the great things that we're doing at Tunza. Thank you for this opportunity and this platform for digital storytelling. It's enabled me to tell you guys a story about Tunza, how it started, where we are headed, and all the good things. Thank you very much, and all the best to me.